50 Cent could be losing millions of dollars after several rappers revolted against him, following the leak of new footage from his upcoming documentaries. The hip-hop world is in full panic over these leaks, and insiders say some of the rappers are already taking legal action, and even going after him publicly and privately. 50 Cent is now reportedly in serious danger, and in this video, we're going to break down everything he's facing, reveal which rappers were exposed, and show how they're planning brutal revenge. To understand how we got here, you have to go back to February 2026 and one conversation on a podcast. On February 6th, Shannon Sharpe and Chad Okosinko dropped their episode of Nightcap featuring T.I. During their conversation, the trio began to talk about Verzuz and who the Atlanta rapper would take on. Now, T.I. has always been vocal about wanting to face 50 Cent in a song-for-song battle. T.I. originally pitched Gucci Mane to Swizz Beatz, but he really wants to go song-for-song with 50 Cent. And on this episode, he did not hold back. "I said I wanted 50, Tip explained. "He don't want no smoke though. I called my man out. He don't want no smoke. He ducking smoke." This was not the first time T.I. made this request. Tip has challenged 50 Cent to a Verzuz match a couple of times in the past. He first mentioned it in 2020 at the height of the popular battle series. And again in 2021, however, Fifth never took the bait. But this time, there was a backstory that added a layer to it. According to T.I., he and 50 Cent had a private conversation in Los Angeles, where they explicitly agreed to face off against each other in the highly popular music battle series. The plan was for T.I. to issue a public challenge, and 50 Cent would immediately accept it to build massive hype. That is not what happened. When T.I. publicly issued the call-out, 50 Cent went completely ghost, acting as if the private agreement had never happened. This perceived betrayal infuriated T.I., reigniting their deeply rooted animosity and pushing the feud into dangerously personal territory. Now 50 Cent responded, not by accepting the Verzuz, not by stepping into a booth. Not only did Fifth decline to battle, but he also told Tip to stay away and called him a rat on Instagram. In the comment section of New Face's post, Fifth upped the ante and referred to T.I. as King Rat. T.I. responded immediately, "You playing on my name when only one of us a rat in real life?" Tip quickly responded, "You know I got your paperwork right, and my transcript is available online. Your excuses is useless. Get your hoe ass in the box or STFU and live in fear. You soft son, you've lost my respect." Now, this rat label is something that has followed T.I. since 2007. The documentary threat is the latest escalation in a conflict that dates to 2007, when 50 called T.I. a snitch after his machine gun arrest and plea deal. Back then, T.I. would be arrested on federal gun charges. By March, he would make a deal with the feds, serving only a year in prison. 50 Cent took that deal and made it public ammunition. He dissed Tip on the G-Unit cut You So Tough. So when 50 Cent called T.I. King Rat in 2026, he was pulling from almost 2 decades of history between them. What made this situation different from previous years is that T.I. was in the middle of a legitimate promotional run. Meanwhile, Let 'Em Know is one of the early hits of 2026. The song, part of T.I.'s retirement album Kill the King, is currently #1 at Urban Radio and on several charts, from Instagram to Billboard. The Nightcap appearance was part of that Kill the King album promo run, so calling 50 out on a platform with millions of viewers was calculated. But 50 Cent refusing the Verzuz and responding with insults turned a promotional moment into a full-scale conflict. Instead of accepting the challenge, he fired back by calling Tip King Rat and telling him to keep my name out your mouth. That response set off another wave of music from the Atlanta rapper, who answered with several diss records aimed at 50, and that is exactly what happened next. T.I. stopped talking about Verzuz and started recording. Once 50 Cent turned down the Verzuz and resorted to Instagram insults, T.I. went to the studio. T.I. has now released 4 diss tracks: War, The Right One, Lessons, and What Bully, while his sons King Harris and Domani Harris have also jumped in. 4 tracks, in quick succession. That alone was a statement. One of those tracks stood out. The Right One was one of the most talked about songs. On the track, T.I. takes harsh personal shots at his rival, even bringing up 50's late mother and his baby mama Daphne Joy. The content on that track went further than most people expected. T.I. kept the pressure on with his third entry, Lessons, which online commentators and rap critics described as one of his strongest performances in years. Tip sounding genuinely hungry and reinvigorated. His fourth track, What Bully, targeted 50 Cent's online tough guy image versus his apparent reluctance to face real-world consequences. By this point, DJ Academics had drawn direct comparisons to the Drake versus Kendrick Lamar beef, cementing this as one of the defining rivalries of 2026. But the diss tracks were just one front. The conflict quickly escalated beyond the two men, bleeding into their immediate families. It started when 50 Cent posted an unflattering photo of Tiny, with a caption telling T.I. to leave him alone. The Harris family interpreted this as a direct sign of extreme disrespect. That photo changed the nature of the beef. It brought in T.I.'s wife, and once his wife was involved, his sons entered. T.I.'s sons immediately jumped into the fray to defend their mother. King Harris blasted old, highly inappropriate images of 50 Cent across social media, while Damani Harris released diss tracks aimed at the New York mogul. Damani Harris, T.I.'s 24-year-old son, dropped a track that made headlines. Damani dropped a song called Ms. Jackson. On the song, which starts off with a sample of Outkast's popular 2000 hit of the same name, the 24-year-old rapper pens a letter to Fifth's late mother, Sabrina Jackson, who died in a fire when the G-Unit head honcho was 8. The track was personal. It addressed 50 Cent's late mother directly, and reaction was divided. Some people said it was out of line. Others said it matched the energy 50 brought by going after Tiny. Then King Harris did something that took it even further. King Harris dropped his own song and video, which features him wearing a t-shirt that features the face of 50's mother. That t-shirt became a symbol of the whole beef. King made it clear he was going to use that angle as long as 50 Cent kept going after his mother. Even Rick Ross, who's also not a fan of 50 Cent, hopped in the comments and wrote "Need that T" in a 3X Lil Bro. That brought T.I.'s son King Harris into the mix. And the father-son duo would go on to drop a combined 6 diss tracks, 6 records, father and sons, all aimed at one man. This was a family operation, but T.I. himself had mixed feelings about his sons getting involved. During a sit-down with the Abra Laura Rosenberg show, the Atlanta rapper reiterated that he didn't need a beef with 50 to boost awareness for his hit single Let 'Em Know. Cutting his dreadlocks and returning to his classic fade did all that. However, when asked if he was a fan of Sons King and Damani jumping in the beef with diss tracks of their own, Tip said he gained zero enjoyment out of it. "No, I don't enjoy it," T.I. said. He explained his stance on the podcast in a way that showed he understood the situation was getting out of hand. "I'm real big on treating other people the way I want to be treated. And I'm also real big on treating motherfuckers the fucking way they decided they're gonna treat me," he added. And ultimately all of the quietness that we're witnessing right now. From Dude, what would have happened if that quietness was practiced at the beginning? Absolutely nothing. We wouldn't be here. And then T.I. drew a line. T.I. ultimately had to draw a firm boundary when King printed a shirt disrespecting 50 Cent's late mother, stating publicly that he does not believe in attacking people in ways he would not want his own family attacked. That moment showed that T.I. was willing to go to war, but he had limits. King did not always share those limits. Through all of this, the diss tracks, the t-shirts, the Instagram posts, 50 Cent did something unusual. In response to this extreme escalation, 50 Cent did something that absolutely terrified those who have studied his career. He deleted every single Instagram post related to T.I. and King Harris. He didn't rant, he didn't drop a track, he simply went dark. People who have followed 50 Cent's career know what that means. For a man who has built a brand on being the most relentless internet troll in modern history, deleting posts is never a sign of retreat. It is a sign of preparation. Then on March 5th, 2026, the silence broke. On March 5th, the New York rapper and producer shared a now deleted Instagram post that included a screenshot of a news headline claiming he was behind a project titled Surviving T.I. The rumored documentary was described as an investigative-style project, similar to the documentary series 50 previously produced. The name of the project alone carried weight. 50 Cent posted and later deleted an Instagram screenshot teasing a documentary tentatively titled Surviving T.I. and Tiny, a name that deliberately echoes Lifetime's career-ending Surviving R. Kelly series. Everyone understood the reference, and the caption was the part that made it go from a tease to a threat. "Remember how quiet I got before the Diddy doc," 50 Cent wrote in his caption. "Dame thought I wasn't coming. I hope this doesn't mess up your promo tour. They're gonna ask about your 20 sexual assault cases. You might want to talk to a crisis PR person." That caption hit for a reason. 50 Cent had just come off producing a documentary that was one of the biggest projects on Netflix. 50 Cent executive produced Sean Combs' The Reckoning for Netflix, a 4-part docuseries that dropped in December 2025 and pulled 21.8 million views in its first 6 days, according to Netflix. So when 50 Cent says he went quiet before a doc, and he is now going quiet again, people take that as a pattern. 50 Cent has suggested that he's working on another documentary series, and this time it will be focused on the sexual abuse allegations against T.I. and his wife, Tiny Harris. In a post on Instagram, 50 Cent shared a screenshot showing a headline that reported Fifth is said to be developing a documentary about the married couple who have been accused of sexual misconduct by more than 30 women. The rumor about this documentary did not start with 50 Cent's post, though. Tasha K, the controversial podcaster who previously lost a high-profile defamation lawsuit to Cardi B, recently hinted at a possible documentary involving T.I. and Tiny Harris. According to her claims, the project could allegedly be backed by 50 Cent, so the chatter was already out there before 50 confirmed anything. Now here is the thing. As of March 2026, there is no verified production schedule, network deal, or actual footage to confirm that surviving T.I. and Tiny even exists. No network or streaming platform has confirmed distribution. But that almost does not matter. 50 Cent understands that in the modern era of instant viral media, the sheer threat of an exposing documentary often hits significantly harder than the actual project itself. And it worked. By weaponizing a deleted Instagram post, 50 Cent managed to force T.I. onto the defensive, drag his past traumas back into the mainstream headlines, and control the entire hip-hop narrative without having to spend a single dollar on production. But T.I. was not about to cower. Rather than retreating into the shadows or issuing a sanitized corporate apology, T.I. decided to face the threat head-on, effectively turning the controversy into a promotional engine for his upcoming final album. He dropped more music. T.I. also dropped a video of himself in the studio with his son King Harris, working on a new track titled Let Him Know, and shortly after released another song called Trauma Bond. The beef between 50 Cent and T.I. did not stay between them. It pulled in other people who have their own history with 50 Cent. And that is where things got interesting. Multiple people saw this moment as an opportunity. Benzino was one of the first to jump in. As you'll recall, Benzino was recently seen wearing a neck brace, following an incident that's said to have occurred during an alleged custody dispute. Fifth, expectedly, was quick to react to the news, taking to IG to mock Benzino's predicament. The post was simple, but it got attention. Fifth captioned the picture writing LMAO and adding a bunch of laughing emojis. Additionally, he said in his own comment section, "God told me to share this." Benzino did not take that lightly, borrowing a page from T.I.'s son King Harris, who's been sparring with 50. Benzino clapped back by promoting a controversial t-shirt featuring 50's late mother. The move mirrors Harris's own jabs amid 50's long-running tension with T.I. "Shout out to T.I. and his whole family," Benzino said after being asked about the shirt. "You know, I see 50 posting me and he said God made him do it. Me and God got a relationship, so I guess God made me do this too. I thought it's just appropriate to wear it for the interview. I actually like the shirt. It fits really nice." Benzino then went further. He criticized the prolific Instagrammer for always tearing down our culture and asserted there's nothing genius about his approach. Fifth, in Benzino's eyes, is also out of touch as an artist. He made it clear that he respected T.I. for getting in the booth and challenged 50 to do the same. Benzino also challenged 50 Cent to settle their differences through music rather than memes. "Destroyed his A's," he says of the Harris family. "Go tell that big blockhead non to stop clowning and get in the booth and battle this man. Nobody trying to give a fuck about these memes and all the sucker shit he doing. Get in the booth and battle the nai." Benzino also offered a critique of 50 Cent's fanbase that raised eyebrows. He launched into a personal assessment of Fifth's fanbase, arguing that much of his core audience stems from his Shady Records affiliation. "You know, the bozo he is, I'm not surprised at what he did," Benzino argued. "But what disappoints me is his fans. I keep saying this, how a big part of his fan base are white people from that shady camp." Then Papoose entered the picture. Papoose took T.I.'s lead by dissing 50 Cent in a Many Men freestyle. It seems like T.I.'s feud with 50 Cent has inspired Papoose to reignite his own beef with Fifth from earlier this year. The Papoose and 50 Cent situation is its own thing entirely. 50 Cent and Papoose beef has become one of the most bizarre and talked about rivalries in modern hip-hop. What started as subtle industry tension and casual Instagram jabs has grown into a sprawling, multi-layered feud that dominates social media in 2026. The rivalry captures attention because it merges traditional hip-hop beef with modern technology, AI deepfakes, Instagram trolling, and diss tracks combined to create a saga that is both entertaining and intensely personal. Then Fivio Foreign jumped in and blasted 50 Cent for dissing other rappers instead of directly responding to T.I., seemingly lamenting that Fifth is going at other, older rappers from New York City, rather than inspiring unity or fully going at his Atlanta opponent. And the beef list keeps growing. Apart from 50 Cent's beef with T.I., he also has beef with Papoose, the Let's Rap About It podcast, Dame Dash, Benzino, and many more. Jim Jones and Mino also got drawn in. Mino recently questioned 50 Cent's street cred after dissing him on Bleed Like Us. 50 Cent immediately targeted Jones and Mino, claiming that they're squatters who owe 6 figures in rent for the studio where they film their podcast. Even Mino, who acknowledged his history with 50 Cent, could not stay silent. Mano gives 50 Cent credit for helping him land a record deal with Atlantic Records, especially since Fifth had a lot of associates who grew up with Mino as well. Ultimately, they remained cordial, and things were positive between the two, up until the end of 2025. But once the beef atmosphere took over, the alliance against 50 Cent pulled him in too. So by mid-March 2026, the situation looked like this. T.I. and his sons dropping multiple diss tracks. Benzino wearing the t-shirt and aligning with the Harris family. Papoose freestyling over 50 Cent's own beats. Mano dropping a diss track. And Fivio Foreign publicly calling 50 Cent out for going after everyone except the person actually challenging him. Various celebrities outside of hip-hop have been on his target list. But this year, in particular, has seen him intensely feuding with a number of rappers from New York. So where does all of this leave us? On one side, you have a coalition of rappers, family members, and old rivals, who are all pushing back against 50 Cent. On the other side, you have 50 Cent, who has responded to multiple diss tracks with one song, a deleted Instagram post about a documentary, and his usual social media behavior. Let us talk about the documentary itself. The program would reportedly cover the allegations of rape and sexual misconduct that numerous women have lodged against the prominent couple over the past few years. The allegations referenced here are not new. In 2021, Sabrina Peterson alleged that T.I. threatened to kill her and held a gun to her head during an incident in 2009. That situation opened the door for more people to come forward with their own claims. The tentatively named project would resurface old sexual assault allegations from several women against the couple. T.I. and Tiny have remained steadfast, swearing up and down that they have never conducted such behavior. In fact, T.I. explained that him and Tiny do have unique preferences intimacy-wise, but they have always asked for consent. The legal landscape around these allegations tells its own story. A major civil lawsuit filed by a 2005 Air Force veteran was ultimately dismissed by a federal judge in August 2024, citing that the claims were time-barred and lacked sufficient evidence of a legal cover-up. So in the courts, a case was dismissed. T.I. and Tiny have consistently denied all allegations, calling them salacious, fabricated stories. Notably, T.I.'s own defamation lawsuit against Peterson heads to trial on June 9, 2026 in Los Angeles, which will put these allegations back in the public spotlight, regardless of what 50 produces. That June trial date is worth paying attention to. Whether 50 Cent makes a documentary or not, the public discussion about these allegations will happen again in a courtroom setting. This massive gap between the legal reality and the court of public opinion is exactly where 50 Cent is masterfully operating. The courts may have technically closed the door on criminal prosecution, but the cultural conversation regarding these allegations remains incredibly fractured and unresolved. Now, the question everyone has, is 50 Cent actually making this documentary? As of right now, there is no verified reporting, no official announcement, and no credible sourcing that confirms any of this. But if 50 Cent's pattern holds, the silence before the storm is the loudest warning. 50 Cent did release one track during this whole saga. This is a response to 50 Cent's new track, which also dropped, No One Told Us What We're Here For, which features R&B's hottest act, Leon Thomas. The record is really for the next installment in his Power TV series. However, the G-Unit mogul uses it as a means to lyrically respond to T.I. and his entire family. It was not a full diss track in the traditional sense, but 50 used it to take shots. And then he also posted on Instagram a joke about old rappers still trying to battle. He shared a fake certificate labeled the Stupide NAD Award. The caption read, "Goes to old rappers still trying to battle rap. ChatGPT told me that. I don't need me to rap, you need me to rap." That response summarizes 50 Cent's whole approach to this beef. He is saying he does not need to rap anymore. His weapons are different now. He has television shows. He has documentaries. He has Netflix. In more recent years, 50 Cent has focused a lot of his creative efforts on TV, producing a number of shows including Power and its multiple spin-offs. The Verzuz battle T.I. wanted was a music confrontation. 50 Cent pivoted the whole conflict into a different arena, one where he has the upper hand. Even King Harris, who was the most vocal member of the Harris family in this conflict, appears to have recognized the shift. The sudden, noticeable quiet from the young rapper is not necessarily a sign of cowardice, nor is it strictly begging 50 Cent to stop, as some online critics have framed it. Instead, it appears to be a profound moment of realization. King is 21 years old, a new father, and a young man who reacted purely out of defensive emotion to protect his mother. But he has suddenly realized that he brought a squirt gun to a nuclear standoff. The entire hip-hop community is watching this situation play out. Hip-hop thrives on lyrical combat, cultural debate, and competitive energy. What it does not need is endless cycles of destruction that pull families, children, and old legal wounds back into the spotlight. That is a fair point. This beef started because one rapper challenged another to a music battle. It has now reached a point where someone's wife, sons, and late mother are all part of the public conversation. Legal allegations from years ago are being recycled, and a documentary that may or may not exist has become the central weapon. If this rumor turns out to be nothing, then it fades as quickly as it appeared. If there is something brewing, then transparency will eventually surface. Until then, it remains talk. But let us be clear about one thing. 50 Cent has earned a reputation where the threat alone carries weight. He did it before. On December 7th, 2023, executive producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson announced that he was developing a Sean Combs docuseries, and that proceeds from the project would go to victims of the sexual misconduct allegations against Combs. That project eventually became one of the biggest documentaries of 2025. In the 6 days after its release, the series was viewed 21.8 million times, making it the second most viewed Netflix title during the week of December 8, 2025. So when 50 says he has something coming, people believe him. Right now, the rappers who have revolted against 50 Cent are united in one message: get in the booth and handle it through music. Benzino said it, T.I. said it, Papoose showed it by freestyling. Even Fivio Foreign, who has his own separate issues, pointed out that 50 Cent is going after everyone except the person standing right in front of him. But 50 Cent has never been the type to fight on someone else's terms. He picks his battlefield, and in 2026, that battlefield is not a recording studio. It is a production set. The question that remains is whether the surviving T.I. and Tiny documentary will ever see the light of day, or whether it has already served its purpose, shifting the narrative, putting people on defense, and reminding the entire culture that 50 Cent fights differently now. Whether it is a real project or a calculated bluff, the result has been the same. Everyone is talking about it. Everyone is reacting to it. And 50 Cent is at the center of all of it. The feud between 50 Cent and T.I. is not over. The alliances against him are still forming. And the June 2026 trial between T.I. and Sabrina Peterson is coming. One way or another, this story has more chapters to go. The only question is who writes the next one.